Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm not entirely sure who the Sky reporter is. If you want to kick us off, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, thank you very much. Eddie, first of all, just your take on the overall performance of your side, please, this afternoon.
Much better from an attacking sense. We were a threat in the game today. From start to finish on the counter-attack, we looked good. We had pace, wide areas, front positions, scored a good goal. So that was a big improvement on recent weeks. But defensively today, once we conceded the first goal, that was not our finest hour.
You created chances, obviously, you scored goals. You come up against the Manchester United attack that seems to be in scintillating form. Is there anything, looking back, you think you could have done differently, or do you just have to accept they are players on the very, very top of their game?
No, we know we're in the Premier League, and I think you're going to, if you don't get every detail right, you will find it difficult. I think the most disappointing goal for me was the first goal. I think we'll look back at that as a key moment in the match. We had the lead, and I haven't seen the goal again, but my gut feel was that we didn't deal with it anywhere near well enough, and I think that changed the game in terms of momentum. I think the second goal is a harsh penalty to give against us. Third goal is an unbelievable finish, and the really good thing is at the beginning of the second half we came out with real intent, got back in the match, and the fourth goal probably knocked the stuffing out of us.
And just one more, if I may. 2 back-to-back home games now. Are these key to your survival chances, results?
Yeah, every game is. I mean, these 2 games are hugely important. I saw today a team that had a much better look about it today. When you compare us today against Newcastle, the effort was there, but the quality was missing. But today we did carry a goal threat. I think that's the big thing to take from this match.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Simon, you've got your hand raised.
Eddie, in terms of the confidence of the team, can you lift them enough to get positive results? Because it just looked after the first goal as though that knocked everything out of them.
Yeah, I mean, the first goal is a disappointment, but it's not fatal in a game when you're 1-1 away from home. And I think the penalty, again, I haven't seen it, so I need to see it again. But I've only seen a very quick replay at the time. That seemed harsh to me. If Adam's hand is high, then fair enough. But I felt, from my first viewing, it was low. But that then becomes difficult. And the world-class goal on half-time that goes right in the top corner from a difficult angle, that's when you know the quality of the team you're up against. But it does make your reality difficult in that moment. And fair play to the players for how we responded at the beginning of that second half. But they just had too much in the end.
Any others, please feel free to chip in. Go on, Tom.
Eddie, just wanted to ask how difficult it is to keep the motivation levels high at the moment for you.
I think the motivation's high. I've got no problem with that. I think it's the confidence that we need to protect and maintain at all costs, because I think you saw today there was an attacking edge that we haven't had in recent weeks. We looked and carried a confidence when we got forward that we haven't always seen in the recent games. So you don't want today's result to damage that. I still feel that the players believe that they're good players, and we believe that we can be a good team. We've just got to put everything together.
Eddie, after taking the lead in this game, that was the atmosphere in the dressing room much more positive after Newcastle.
Ultimately, we've lost the game by quite a heavy scoreline, so I wouldn't say the dressing room's positive. I think we're well aware of how we've performed today, and I thought there were elements of the performance that were vastly improved over recent weeks, especially from the attacking side, as I say. But I think the players are aware the goals we conceded really hurt us today, and they won't be happy with that. So I think it's very important that we reflect on the positives from today. We reflect on the weaknesses and the fragilities in the team, and try and improve them for our next match.
You mentioned it wasn't the team's best defensive hour. Was that relating to, again, trying to stay in the game? It felt like even though you'd taken the lead, the game quickly passed in a quick phase. Is it trying to keep concentration levels in those short periods? Is that an important?
I don't think concentration would be an issue. I think if you look back at the first goal, I just think we've made technical errors from a defensive perspective that you can't make against the top teams. You can't make against any team, especially the top teams. I think that's the moment the game changed. We hung in there, and at 3-2, it's very much game on again. And then, I find it difficult to remember the mistakes we made for the fourth one, but that'll be an interesting goal to look back on from my perspective.
There was no Steve Cook or Chris Mepham in the squad today. Are you able to give an update on them?
Steve felt his hamstring after the game against Newcastle, so he had a scan. It showed very minor damage. We hope that it won't be too serious. Mep's travelled. We felt he could be fit, but his knee wasn't feeling quite right. So again, he had to miss out. And with Simon Francis not fit, Jack Simpson not fit, very, very stretched in that area.
Was that why there were two keepers named on the bench, because Mep's travelled?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Eddie. Sorry, Melissa, go ahead.
Eddie, you've spoken recently about psychology, but today, if we don't look at the scoreline and just look at periods of reaction, to take the lead after going through a period of conceding first, that was a good reaction. You speak about that spell at the start of the second half where the team were very bright, so psychologically they weren't put off by being 3-1 down. And then also there were 2 disallowed goals for offside as well. So you speak about the attacking element being back, but part of that is psychological. How have you managed to change that?
Well, I think we tried to be very brave in our approach today. We played with 2 strikers. We tried to carry a threat. I think if you come here with no threat at all, I think your job is even harder. So I think we'll really rue the fact that we were good from an attacking side, but we just didn't get the detail right on our defending. And the quality of their goals were very, very high today. And we've hit a Manchester United team in very good form. So unfortunately, that mix has meant we haven't got anything from the match.
Rose.
Hi Eddie, we saw Junior's goal. The opening goal today was a real sort of moment of real sort of quality, the way he got it through and obviously squeezed it in at the near post. I know you said he hadn't had a lot of football, but is he one of those, the more minutes he plays, the more he's going to progress and get better for this run-in?
Yeah, I think Junior's a massive player for us. Our challenge has always been with Junior in recent seasons is getting the number of games that is out of him that his quality deserves, really. And I think we've adapted his training, we've adapted certain things, how he prepares to try and give him more, make him available for more games. Hopefully that shows in the coming weeks and months. He's a massive player for us. He's got he showed with his goal, as you say, he showed he's got that moment that can swing a game.
And just a quick one, I think David Brooks was in some discomfort at the end of the first half. Is he okay? I think that's why he came off.
No, David was fine. I think I'm not sure what his problem was. I think I took him off at half time just to change the feel of the team from an attacking perspective. He's done very, very well in recent weeks to get through the games that he has after having no football and limited training time. But I felt maybe just one half today would have benefited him rather than going too deep. And certainly managing his game time and making sure he can have an impact when he plays is absolutely key for me.
And you talk about impact there. How impressed with the impact on Danjuma? It was almost instantaneous when he came on and really put a stamp on the game from the outset, didn't he, when he came off with that?
Yeah, I feel for Arnie because I think the goal we scored on the counter-attack was a great goal. It would have been a great finish, but unfortunately the linesman flag went up and I was hoping VAR would see that he was onside, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for us. But he showed moments today, Arnold. He showed his quality in flashes. Certainly, again, he's another player that can make the difference.
Is he one of the ones that you just feel he must be, with the season he had, he must be one of the ones that is the most hungry to go on and make that difference in his club now, mustn't he?
Yeah, I think they all are. I mean, there's all our attacking players are desperate to be on the pitch. I think Arnold is again one of those players that we need to manage his game time along with David and with Junior. So when they take the pitch, they're able to deliver and they're not fatigued. They're obviously just coming back from long-term injuries. So that's what we're trying to do with them.
And one finally from me, can I just get an update on what Jack Simpson's done? Obviously, you said he was injured.
Yeah, Jack pulled a calf, very minor calf pull. Just trying to think back to when it was 2-3 weeks ago.
Thanks, Eddie.
No problem.
Any final ones, guys? Yeah, Chris Wheeler.
Yes, hi Eddie. It's 4 games back for you now. Can you just tell me where you think the players' fitness is at the moment? And also, I've been asked to ask you, do you still think we need water breaks at this stage of the restart?
Sorry, what was the first question?
Where you think your players' fitness is at after these first 4 games back?
I think they're all different. It's very difficult to put one level on everybody. I think we have some players returning from long-term injuries who are probably still a little bit short of where they would ideally be. I think we've got a main group of players that are probably very good physically. So I'd say it's slightly split. In terms of the water breaks, I think maybe on a night like tonight we don't, in the sense that it's not baking hot and it's the kickoff time is quite. Well, the day in Manchester it was spitting with rain, so maybe not tonight. But certainly other games, I think yes, they're good.
Okay, thanks guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.